Sammy Baugh, though 36 years old and with 15 seasons of full competition behind him, gives no signs of nearing the end of his amazing career.
Art Monk is now number one, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
This is Harry Hog Football, the original Redskins fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the game between the Washington Redskins and the Kansas City Chiefs and how we were oh so close to offing the last undefeated team in the league. This and much, much more live with Aaron and John. Yo, 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 what's up, John?
Yo, 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 what's up?
Excellent.
Welcome, Harry Hog Football, episode number 434.
35?
Part
34?
B.
35.
34 part. Redo.
34 part
Redux. Redux. Redo. Whatever it's called.
Part we did. Part D.
Redo.
Part D.
Anyway, welcome to the podcast. And what's up, dudes in the Peanut Gallery on the chat? Hopefully you can hear us better this time.
Chat. There are people in here already. Eddie.
Anyway. So welcome to podcast 434, in which we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs game, which I had to go back and re-watch last night on the NFL Game Pass that I accidentally bought. Because, because it had been a week and I was on vacation, and it was more of a debacle than the game was our first attempt at the podcast last week.
Yes. Speaking of debacles, I want to give a nice shout out to our longtime benevolent sponsor, Desmond C. Lee. Big Redskins fan. You can follow him on Twitter at Desmond C. Lee 2, because Desmond C. Lee 1 was
taken or hacked.
That's right. And you can follow us at Harry Hog, Harry Hog.
Yeah, and you can email us at Aaron or John or Josh at harryhogfootball.com. Speaking of, where is Josh?
Dude, I don't know. Man. Where is Josh?
Oh, man.
Well, I'll tell you where he is. He's in Orlando. And I tried to get him.
Weren't you just in Orlando?
Yeah, I was. And now he's there this week. I tried to get him on the show, and he didn't respond to my latest texts. So he may or may not join us. We never know with Josh.
Probably won't.
I'm pretty sure he watched the game, though, because he was texting me during it. You don't think he did?
No, I joked Josh every week here on the podcast until he finally shows up. In the last few weeks.
Has he
I'm
been
gonna
on
joke
one?
you every week until you decide to show up.
Has he been on one this season?
No. He did do preseason stuff, though, when I was in the hospital with CMV.
Yeah, not to be confused with VD on the Redskins.
Yeah. Oh, I knocked over my... I don't even... Oh, you can't see it on the... Can't see it on the YouTube feed that we have. By the way, we have a feed on YouTube. You guys can follow it.
Yeah.
And if you like it, you can get on there and actually super follow it. Be a subscribed listener.
Yeah, because if you subscribe and we get, like, I don't know, a few more subscribers, we can actually get a normal sounding, what is it called? Link? Address?
I guess so. One day
One day more.
Maybe sometime after episode 434. Duh.
434 day. This is going to be a lot better podcast. I think the people in the chat room on YouTube are saying they can hear us. Is that correct? You guys can hear and see everything?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat room is asking our email. It's Aaron at harryhogfootball.com or John at harryhogfootball.com.
Yaman.
Or Josh at harryhogfootball.com. And I would probably
Where's
not go to
Josh
Josh.
at harryhogfootball.com.
We don't know if Josh gets those emails, so might as well not use that one.
He doesn't know anything. He changes his email every year.
He always changes it.
He's all busy hanging out at, like, rallies and checkers.
Let me say this, though. After having a week to reflect on the game and watching it again last night, I completely changed who my original Kicking the Balls award goes to. So this is not.
Really?
This isn't going to be like just redoing the other podcast verbatim. It's going to be completely different.
You know why? Because that's Harry Hog football. Dude, you got to lower my screen. You can't even see the bottom of my microphone.
Okay. You really want me to try to do that and risk screwing up the entire podcast?
You did this in 434A.
That doesn't mean I'm the best at it. But okay, hold on. Lower your screen. Okay.
Try to do it slowly.
Okay, I'll do it. Talk about something while I'm doing it.
Well, let's see. We had a chance to win that game, but we didn't. And the biggest problem was Josh Doctson. But he wasn't the only problem. Part of the problem was that our defense was getting their asses handed to them, like throughout the second half, especially. Like just dudes injured after injury. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was horrible. And then Rabbit Rads, or BNG Buns. Rabbit Rads keeps screwing with us by changing his name and stuff. Anyway, he told me that there's only one person on the injury list. Oh, okay. Here comes the real injury list.
Super injury list.
Okay. But then he said there's only one person still on it today. So I don't know.
I heard that people practice today that they're hoping are going to go this weekend against San Francisco. So we'll see.
All right. Let's get into talking about this game if you can remember it.
All right.
The Redskins were dominating from the beginning. The defense was picking up where they left off against the Rams.
Yeah.
And we basically dominated the entire first quarter and over half of the second quarter.
Yeah.
And when I watched the game again, I saw the turning point. And you want to know what it was? It was we had a third down. We had them stopped. And Rashad Breeland got a hands to the face call.
They're calling that. That's one of the penalties of this year. That is one of the penalties. They're calling the hands to the face penalty all the time in all the games. It's like, oh, by the way, this year in 2017, we want you to call more hands to the face. It's just one of the things they want to emphasize.
It's true, dude. And you know what else they've been calling more? It's almost 50-50 on like offensive pass interference. You used to never see offensive pass interference.
Yeah. Especially against. Well.
Dude, did you see is that better on your microphone?
Yeah, dude. It's low enough that you can see the helmet.
Well, I can't go any lower because that's as low as your camera goes, dude. Your camera cuts off below that helmet.
That's probably about right. That's enough. I just need some Redskins stuff in there.
I don't know if it's appropriate to be showing your helmet on the podcast anyway.
Dude, it's just the tip.
I don't even want to imagine.
It's number one.
But
it's
the way that it's lined up on the screen.
You notice it's just standing at attention there.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get. All right, so since BNG Bun / Rabbit Rad / Keith is putting up the injury report, we might as well go right into that from the beginning. You agree?
That sounds fine. I mean, yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay. And now it's the injury report, brought to you by BNG Buns and by Rabbit Rads and by Keith. All right. Oh yeah, welcome Zach Weiss to the chat.
And bye.
Have we seen Zach Weiss in the chat before? Welcome, Sir Weiss. Welcome to the chat.
Zach Weiss. Zach Weiss,
BNG Buns. Okay, here is the full injury report brought to you by. We already said who it was brought to you by.
Yeah.
All right. Martrell Spate, who I remember I saw last night, had one really good tackle where he darted through and got the dude by the leg.
I know,
Martell's-
after like 4 things in a row where he just totally missed tackle after tackle after tackle, I was like, well, if there's one guy that's not having a good night, it's Martell Sprate.
Yeah, you were like, that dude can't tackle him. Then he darted through and totally took that guy
He got
out.
one of those finally, yeah.
Martrell Spate, according to B&G Buns, injured his rubs and ribs.
Rips, dude.
Possible return. What is that? Rob Kelly, Fat Rob. When I watched that game again, he started off strong too.
Yeah, he injured his ankle this time. What the hey, man?
All right. DeShazer Everett, hamstring. Doxson, feelings.
Yeah, Doxson
Reed.
feelings.
Reed, what did he injure?
Who knows, man? We should have
Feelings?
traded him.
Feelings. Norman, feelings. No, ribs and lung injury. Out until week 9? Is that new? I thought he was only out for 4 weeks. Did something new come to light like today?
This is week 5 coming up this weekend, so that'll keep him out for like 4 weeks.
Oh, but what about this week? I thought it was 4 weeks from our last game.
It could have been 5 weeks. Actually, I heard did I hear? I think I heard the coach on early this morning saying something about that. He said 2 to 4, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. He didn't know. So
He'll be back before that.
he might be. I'd rather him stay out for an extra week and make sure he's healthy, though.
Yeah. Okay, so is he really out of all those people that were dropping like flies? He's the only one that's still on the injury report? Is that true? It can't be true.
It's true, dude. All
right. Out till week 9, that could hurt us actually.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Because we've got Philadelphia, I think, and then Dallas coming up. So, yeah.
Dallas. Speaking of Dallas, did you see that picture Josh sent from the Wikipedia website about Dallas?
Owners.
It said owners.
Aaron
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
That was amazing. And then you sent something. Was that from your Braille class?
Yeah, did you read it?
Yeah, about the Giants were heartbroken after watching.
Heartbroken. The teacher just kept writing all the stuff about heartbroken. Like heartbroken was the word of the day or something. So I was just like, Braille, all heartbroken.
Did
the
you
Giants
make that
are
up?
heartbroken over their latest loss.
Did you make that sentence up, or did she give it to
No.
you?
That was done by a teacher at the school, and I just brailled it because that's what I do.
And Aaron Rodgers owns the Cowboys.
And Aaron Rodgers owns the Cowboys.
Dude, I actually turned off that game at halftime when the Cowboys were winning because I was like,
I went out to mow the lawn, man. I
And
went
then-
out and jumped on my John Deere.
And then
I
you
got
were like,
back in
"Dude."
and turned it on. And I was just like, what?
On a side note, do you want to know what I was heartbroken and actually mad about yesterday? How the Nats gave up that go-ahead run in the 8th. That stupid blooper. Sorry
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those of you that don't watch baseball, but seriously, what was
Yeah,
up
they
with
should
that?
be playing right now. But they had to postpone, so I don't know if Strasburg's going to play tomorrow or not, or start tomorrow or not.
Well, who is then if he doesn't?
Lark.
I hope Strasburg starts, and I hope we can actually get some hits.
Yeah, don't forget the Cubs are really good too, though.
Oh, but the funniest thing was, what's his face? The dude that hit that blooper from the Cubs. His name's escaping me right now.
I don't remember who it was.
Anyway, afterwards, he was like, yep, that's my job to drive in runs. And I was like, drive him in? Dude, you got so lucky.
Yeah, no lie.
Anyway.
I
All right,
see
let's
on
get back to the
the
Redskins.
people are talking about on the in the chat room. They're talking about Gruden calling that timeout with over a minute left.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that on the podcast that never was.
We talked about that in a lot of podcasts. Gruden's just bad at time management.
He's
just
horrible
bad
at it.
Like Zach Weiss is talking about it in there.
And when I rewatched the game last night, I tried to see what would happen, like where they would have been on the field if you would have just taken that timeout away. I mean, if he didn't call it, you know.
Yeah.
And they still would have been in field goal range, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had those 2 huge plays to get down the field. And remember
Yeah.
that one with
Odell.
wait, wrong game. What?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, Odell. Oh, speaking of Odell, while you got me on that little side tangent, how did you like that shot of him on the sideline crying? And this is before
the
he broke
shot of
his
him
ankle.
with the towel over his face, and of all people, the punter, Brad Wayne, being behind and being like, "It's okay, dude."
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
massaging his shoulders. It
Why
was
is,
like,
why does that dude cry all the time?
that guy is like, dude, that guy is obviously special ed. He's got problems. He's like I don't know what to call him. Bipolar probably, because he's so high and then he's so low and then he's so high and he's so low. He's got problems.
He's like one of those thoroughbred horses at the Derby where they're like, they have to have that horse next to them to calm them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like the normal horse, it's like, chill out, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. And the thoroughbred's all like biting that horse on the neck, like, ah, and the horse is like, dude, stop, man, chill.
Yes, people are speaking of teams with people dropping, like all their wide receivers got injured in that game. And after OBJ was down, I think they were down to 1 wide receiver, and they had to use like 3 tight ends the rest of the game. Like all of them.
Sucks to be a Giant.
Yeah, I can't really say that I'm that upset about it, to tell you the truth.
You hate the Giants.
I hate the Giants, but I wish that same thing was happening to the Eagles or Cowboys more than I hate the Giants. But still, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Cowboys, dude, that was so amazing that they lost. So, all right, so the only team I'm really concerned about was the Eagles, and I wish we didn't have them week 1 because I think if we replayed them now, we would beat them.
We're gonna have them next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
So-
So next weekend, the way that I see it happening and playing out is the Eagles are going to lose this week. They are playing the Panthers. They're going to lose, and the Redskins are going to completely demolish the 49ers in Washington. Dude, what are you staring at? You look like lost.
I'm trying to figure out. I agree with. I don't know about the Carolina one. Carolina's kind of up and down, but they're Cam Newton seems to be recovering pretty well from that surgery. Finally.
Can I finish my statement?
My fault. I was just staring. I was staring, man. I was staring.
So Dallas, who are they playing? Doesn't matter. They're going to lose. So then we're going to go into the Philadelphia game in Philly with a chance to tie for first place, is what I'm getting at here.
We'll see. I really like to put ourselves back in first place and hold first place for the rest of the season. That'd be pretty nice. We'll have to see what happens. We do have 12 more games to go.
Dude, Giants. All right, Michael Graff, welcome to the chat, dude. Says Giants need a strength and conditioning coach like Little Juice Gruden. Little Juice is his name now.
Let me see. You need to talk about this. You need to talk about that.
Dude, that might be the
This guy's
name of this episode.
5'3" or something like that, but he looks like he's 250 pounds, like packed into this little dude.
Dude, that has to be the name of this episode. Little Juice Gruden.
Little Juice Gruden.
Juice Gruden. Oh my goodness, that cracks me up. Dude, speaking of who's slimming down, Jay Gruden is looking pretty svelte, like me before I started to balloon up again.
Yeah. He looked pretty svelte in preseason. I think he's actually put on a couple of LBs as we've gotten into the season. You know, like when Joe Gibbs would eat those Snickers bars and spend all night on the couch in the training room and stuff like that.
In the film room.
Film room.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, what about the game now? We keep getting off track. The actual game against the Chiefs was very encouraging yet disappointing at the same time. Encouraging how both the offense and defense started out. I was also encouraged when it got down to crunch time how Kirk Cousins realized that he needed to use his legs a little bit, and he had a couple good runs for first downs.
I was pretty impressed by that. We're seeing that a little bit more. in each game as it's gone along the season is seeing him starting to use his legs and like planning, like hike it and run the ball. Like it wasn't like, oh, I got to run, I got to do something. I know, I'll run. He was just like, it was, planned stuff.
And even though it was very disappointing, Josh Doctson dropping that pass right in his hands.
Right in his hands.
Except for that play, he had a pretty good game. Let me pull up the stats.
Josh Doctson had 2 catches for 27 yards.
Oh, well, I thought he had more than that. Okay, he had an okay game.
Nobody had anything. The biggest catching guy was Terrell Pryor. He had 3 catches.
And one was like a 50-some-yard touchdown over their top-rated cornerback. In fact, I think his touchdown and Grant's touchdown were against that same cornerback. Peters, is that his name? Peter?
Maybe. Peter.
The guy
Peter,
that sat during the national anthem, that dude. Peter.
Well, he had 9 people to throw to in this game.
He did?
Or he threw at 9 people, I should say.
VD had a couple of big catches. Didn't he?
Yeah, Vernon Davis had 89 yards. He led the team.
Dude, we need to get him more involved.
I'd like to see Terrell Pryor get more involved, too, because he did have a touchdown, but he also had a bonehead drop.
He had 1 drop. And then, of course, there's P. Ryan's fumble. Do we want to talk about that?
I think we just did.
I kind of want to watch that on the all 22 shot. I don't remember when it was. Was it in the second quarter?
I don't remember. It was like a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah. VD.
Oh. Yo. Yeah, so good on VD,
But
we had a good game, especially overall on offense, and our defense was doing as well as they could. They were doing great, and then dudes just kept getting injured, and eventually they started running out of people to stick in there.
Yeah,
and the person who got it the worst was Bashar Breeland after Josh Norman went out, because we all know at this point he's not a number 1 guy. So
yeah, and not only that though. The defense was playing really strongly, and if it wasn't for like 3 or 4 penalties on 3rd down, which gave the Chiefs another chance, we probably would have won that game. That would have been 3 or 4 stopped drives.
And that's typical Redskins defense from the last few years, is dudes having stupid penalties on 3rd downs.
Yeah, but one of the biggest killers was on the Chiefs' first touchdown. We had them stopped. They were going to kick a field goal, and then there was that BS offsides penalty on Preston Smith.
Unlike the other 2 times he was offsides.
The other 2 he was, but this one they said he lined up in the neutral zone, and
they showed it with the sky cam, or the I don't know what they call it, the spider cam. I've heard some people call it, and it was very obvious no one was in the freaking neutral zone.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I will say this though, even though that we had a chance to win that game at the end, and Josh Doctson blew it, the Chiefs ended up basically taking control of every statistical category, unlike us against the Raiders the week before.
Yeah, and they have Andy Reid. That's pretty. He's played us a few times. He knows the Redskins pretty well.
Yeah. And see, they had 61% on 3rd down converted, the Chiefs. And I wonder, does that include the penalties that let them convert? I guess. Because take some of those away, it could have been a different story in this. Kirk Cousins was good again. He wasn't amazing, but he had a couple that people dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was solid. P. Ryan, you guys know I still don't like him. I would rather see Mac Brown. Chris Thompson, after exploding the week before, they didn't really do much with him, which I don't quite understand.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got a little bit of injury issues going on. They're not reporting or what. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And
I know what I wanted to bring up again. Niles Paul again.
Niles Paul is starting to look like a what word am I looking for here? He's starting to look like a hindrance rather than a helpful person.
Yeah, he did have a couple good blocks, but when
Yeah,
he catches
that's
dives to catch
basically
balls
his,
behind the
his
line
game
of scrimmage.
now. Good blocks and good tackles on special teams.
And even Jordan Reed had a Niles Paul play this week where he like caught the ball at the line of scrimmage. They pushed him back 5 yards, and then he tried to fight. And so he ended up losing 4 yards instead of just like giving up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chris Cooley used to do that play.
Yeah, it's
They're like, oh, dude, keep rushing, keep going. Then suddenly someone comes up and punches the ball out. You're like, no, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's going on in the chat? I like P. Ryan. He's just not ready. Yeah, he's not ready. He like a lot of times P. Ryan, I notice it'll look to me like there's a hole like one way or the other, and he doesn't see it. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Mac Brown, I just say give him a shot and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, why not?
But apparently it looks like Rob Kelly will be back this week, Fat Rob, and
Hopefully,
because I think he was just starting to get going. So anyway,
oh, good. Me.
so do we want to give our
What time
game?
is it? 2 in the morning going up with this podcast?
What?
My word, it's midnight in London.
Great Scott.
Great Scott!
All right, well, let's go ahead and go into the, And now, the coveted and ever-elusive Game Ball Award. Game Ball Awards, brought to you by Alamo City Live Music. And by Michael Graff.
Dun, dun, dun.
And by Zach Weiss. I wonder if he's related to Mr. Weiss, science teacher from our high school.
Oh, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I was telling a story about him like a few weeks ago to some teachers. I talked about how he had that pack of Cools in that front pocket
All the time.
all the time.
And how
And they
hilarious
still had the
he was.
smokers lounge in the high school for the teachers to go to.
He probably had something else like tucked into each one of those cools beside tobacco.
I bet he did.
Anyway, we don't want
He was
to.
cool.
we
He
don't want to
was a
slander
cool
him.
teacher.
Okay, so anyway, kicking the balls. Do you want to go?
No, game ball.
Oh, sorry, game balls. Do you want to go?
Game ball. Oh man, I have no idea who my game ball was this week. In A, in 434 A.
The lost
As opposed to
434.
434. Duh.
It's lost now.
It is lost. Thank goodness.
I took it right out of YouTube as soon as it went up because it was so bad and horrible. It was
Thanks,
bad.
Disney.
I don't even know how these guys like actually stay tuned the whole time. It literally took me 10 seconds of like scrubbing through the podcast going, we can't put this up there. This is even below our standards,
Yeah.
which is pretty low.
Oh man. Well,
Are you going?
I can't think of someone to give it to. The team played pretty well. Lots of injuries.
Yeah, here's the weird thing is I had mine picked out last night after I rewatched the game, and now I'm forgetting who I was going to give it to. Isn't
I'll
that
give
horrible?
mine to Kirk Cousins.
That's who you gave it to last time.
Oh, good.
For showing some fight.
For sitting there against two of the one better and then one of the best, I guess, allegedly, quarterbacks in the NFL with Alex Smith
Yeah.
in the last 2 weeks. And he, 2.5 right now. Duh. And he, I don't know, he went toe-to-toe with them pretty much, saying, give me a damn new contract, Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for Kirk Cousins. Kirk,
not Kurt. I'm going to go ahead and give mine to you. Ready for this? This is unprecedented.
P. Ryan.
No.
P. Ryan.
Wait, we're giving games, right?
Yep.
I'm giving my game ball
Take it
to. You ready for
easy.
this?
Who you got?
This is kind of controversial. The entire defense minus Rashad Breeland and minus Preston Smith, because Dude, they were just fighting hard. Like, no matter who was in there, they were putting us in a position where we could still win, even though they got a couple bogus third down penalties.
You know, speaking of that, we talked about this in the Lost episode.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, I don't know. Even the announcers were talking about how the defense was just so gassed. You know, you really didn't want to go back on the field with hardly any time left.
Yes,
and then we had that timeout.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
At the very end of the game, before we kicked that field goal, wasn't it 4th and 1?
I don't remember.
I think it was, because I remember texting you and going, I would go for it here.
Yeah, I think so.
Or was that the week before? Dude, we're getting so old.
It was a week and a half ago.
I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
Dude, these guys...
You were at Disney with Schnell.
And the defense had 4 sacks. Thank you, Alamo City Live Music, for
Nice.
Spurring my memory, even though I just saw the game again last night.
P. Rind.
P. Rind. All right. Well, speaking of P. Rind, all right, let's go ahead and give some of the Peanut Gallery's game balls. I don't know. Are they putting anything in here? I don't see game balls. A game ball. All right. BNG Buns, Keith / Rabbit Rad's game ball goes to the offensive line, not allowing a single sack. Yeah, they were solid.
They were.
And they were, when you watched, especially in the first and second quarter, they were pushing the defensive line back and giving some room to run.
Yeah.
For our running backs, even P. Rind.
I thought it was another, we had a chance to win that game. We didn't. But we didn't look like a bunch of fools after totally kicking butt against Oakland. We didn't come back the very next week and just look like a bunch of imbeciles out there. We looked like almost the same team. Almost.
Yeah, which is saying something, because you never know. You never know if it was going to be a fluke thing. Because Oakland came back and sucked after that, too. So you're like, well, maybe Oakland's not that good.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
Nusky, he's growing that stash. He's growing that in. And I remember seeing him at the beginning of the season. I was like, he ain't got no game until he grows that stash. When he grows that stash, we're going to be kicking some butt.
Yeah, dude, and I totally agree with you. Like, he's bringing some nastiness to the defense, which I like.
He is. Yeah.
For years, our defense has been horrible. Like, we're just praying every time they're on the field that they could somehow get a stop.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Greener D, welcome to the chat room. Is that like Daryl Green in disguise?
Mr. Greener D. D-line.
D-line. Of course, Greener D is going to give it to the D-line. All right, so Greener D gives it to the D-line. Alamo City Music is with you on Kirk Cousins. Getting those first downs on his feet, yes, amazing.
Yeah.
And, okay, yeah, so... Yeah, so even though we lost, I mean, we still look like you were saying, a decent team. There's positives in it, even though it really, really sucked.
Yeah, and I think that's very good for us going this weekend with the 49ers, I think, coming to town.
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep going like we've been going.
We got to kick this. We got to kick Shanny the Youngers freaking tail back to San Francisco or wherever they're at now.
They're
San Jose.
They're still in San Francisco, aren't they?
They're in San Jose?
They moved to San Jose?
No, their stadium, dude.
Oh. Okay, kind of like the Redskins is in Maryland.
Yeah, dude. Didn't you know for the last 3 years they've been the San Jose 49ers?
Then why does it still say SF on their helmet instead of SJ?
Well, it's going to say something F on the helmet this weekend after we kick their butts.
Yeah, I kind of watched a little bit of that game last night, the condensed version, to see if they were any good. And you know who their best player is? I'll give you one hint.
Alex Smith. Oh, he's not on their team anymore. They ran him out of the city on a rail. That's right. Yeah, they hated Alex Smith when he was there.
Wrong.
That's so funny.
Their best player, in my opinion, that I saw watching part of the game against the Colts is no
Pierre
other than
Garçon.
Pierre Garçon. By far.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He was tearing it up, and I'm like, dude, I wish we still had him. So basically, if we can stop Garçon, They had what, Crabtree also? He had a
Yeah.
few catches, but if we can stop Garcon, I mean, we're in good
Really?
shape. Yeah.
Who's their quarterback?
And you know how ex-players of ours like to come back and haunt us, so, you know.
Yeah, but not ex-coordinators.
Alamo City Live Music is cracking me up. Now he says, can we make a collective kick in the balls award to Dropson? Josh Dropson. That's a good one. In fact, even Gibbs thinks that's hilarious.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
All right. Yeah, speaking of kick, yes, kicking the balls award. All right, we need to do those. So, yeah. Where's the music? There.
It's time for this week's Kicking the Balls Award.
Kicking the Balls Award is brought to you by Alamo City Live Music, Mr. Grainer D, and everyone else in the Peanut Gallery. You too can join the Peanut Gallery by going to YouTube during our live podcast, usually on Tuesdays around 7.
Yeah, man.
Okay, Kicking the Balls Award. I am going to give mine to, are you ready for this? Because it's different
Yes.
than the Lost podcast. It is going to Brashad Breeland for the turning point in the game. Hands to the face. He had another hands to the face call that gave up another after a stop on a third down. And then I think he had one more penalty.
And he had that. I mean, he was all over. It's hard to cover Travis Kelce, but he was all over him and still gave up a touchdown like he was a child trying to cover like a big teenager.
Yeah, he gave up the touchdown. That was the other thing. That was the other thing I wanted to say. So that's why, but the big one was the one that basically started to let them back in the game after we had them stopped. That was the beginning of them actually getting something going. So that's why. And a mini kick to the balls to P. Ryan for that fumble. All right, go ahead.
All right, P. Ryan actually led the team in yards per carry last game. Mine goes to none other than number 51. Who are you looking at?
My dog just came in.
My dog.
I heard the door go, and I was like, wait, I thought I told them that I was doing the podcast.
I told them I was podcasting.
Don't come in. I'm podcasting. Seriously, Mom. And then I hear like, and then I look and here comes the dog. Like,
And there's like,
I was like, she busted the door open. I must not have shut it all the way. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Mine goes to number 51, Will, straight out of Compton.
He didn't play.
I know he didn't play. Everyone else on defense played.
Everyone.
I don't know if there was anyone on defense that didn't get in the game that was in uniform other than Will Compton. And they kept showing him in the second half, like, looking on the sideline like, oh, I'm getting ready to go in. Someone else got hurt. I'm getting ready to go in. And then they pick someone else, like Spate or someone like that.
Well, dude,
and
I said in the
he'd be like,
preseason-
ooh, and no, they never gave him the chance to come in.
Dude, we all said in the preseason that Spate was better than Will Compton. We called that.
Will Compton's got a huge motor. He gives it 110%, which is all great and everything, but
Dude, talk to the Peanut Gallery for a second. I got to go shut this door because I hear like loud sounds coming from downstairs. I'll be right back.
So my kick is going to Will Compton for never making it onto the field. I don't think it's going to look very good for Will Compton as a Redskin next season. Let's see. Whoever do we have? Mr. Greener D said Preston Smith.
I'm back.
Jerome Booger's dogs, the referees.
Jerome's boogers. The referees, dude, it seemed like they were a little paid off to me.
You
But-
always think the referees are paid off. I only think they're paid off some of the time.
Only when we're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Anyway. Wow, that was so weird because I'm watching myself on the YouTube feed just sitting back down. So that means it's like, I don't know, a minute behind or something. Okay. Okay. So did I already gave my kicks? Who are you going through their kicks? Okay.
I did. I did some of them.
All right. Great. So what else do we have to look forward to talk about? I'm actually pretty more excited right now 4 games into the season than I was at the beginning of the season, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah. I don't feel completely down and dejected like an old Redskins fan. Like you always like to talk about at the game a long time ago. They're just like...
Well, we started becoming those guys.
I know! And this team is actually showing like bits and pieces of life. It's amazing.
Yeah, the defense is showing fight. The offense, if our receivers could catch the ball.
Yeah. Yeah,
if our
definitely
running
a downgrade
backs,
in defense or in offense.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, for the last so many years, our offense has been the strength, and now the defense is becoming the strength. It's getting a little more balanced, actually.
Michael Graff just said that I think it's Brian Hoyer is the quarterback in San Francisco. We're going to eat that guy for lunch.
He said that Hoyer has been sacked 15 times.
He wants 8 sacks. I just want, 7? It was really refreshing.
It was really refreshing to see 7 sacks, though. I can't remember the last time we had more than 2 or 3.
According to Will. Yeah, it would be really refreshing to see 8 sacks.
It would be.
It'd be even more refreshing to see 15. That
could be a record.
That actually makes me pumped.
Double super pumped. Oh, Josh needs to give his games and kicks. Josh's game is going to go to probably Bashar Breeland for stepping up. Stepping up. No,
Josh Norman's. His kick is going to Josh Norman for breaking his rib and maybe puncturing a lung.
For allowing himself to get his rib broken.
Yeah.
And Sean Taylor. And his game ball goes to his kicking balls goes probably to I don't know, Kurt Cousins.
It's all 6,000.
I need to find that It's All 6,000 shirt and like wear it on the video podcast, because I think I found it a couple weeks ago, or months ago.
Really?
I was cleaning out my like shirt drawer. It was like a shirt that's been like way back there for years, and it's never surfaced.
It's all 6,000.
Now that we're doing video podcasts, I can wear my It's All 6,000 shirt.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we want to add before we get ready to hopefully welcome San Francisco into the stadium and kick their behinds this week?
Kick the rear ends.
Anything?
Nope.
Okay, then.
Bring
I guess
it on.
That's pretty much going to wrap it up for, what were you calling this podcast? 434? Known as the Junior Juice Group. Thanks to everybody that joined us in the live chat on YouTube.
Thanks for everyone joining us in there. Check us out online on Twitter, Harry Hogg. Check us out with Desmond C. Lee, our longtime benevolent sponsor, Desmond C. Lee 2 on Twitter.
Yeah, you can on Twitter. We're usually in there tweeting during the games. Usually, I'm talking about how bad a play was, or how the refs were paid off, and John is tweeting other things. And I'm also tweeting how the announcers say things that are inappropriate, that they don't even know are inappropriate.
On the side.
Oh wait, our intro music's over and we didn't finish, so I have to play it again. Let's try that again. Anyway, so we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yep.
And
after a victory.
Yeah, after a victory. And remember, especially this week, if you see a Giants or Cowboys fan, you can't really do this to the Eagles. If you see a Giants or Cowboys fans, remember, Joker!